Hey everyone, Dockwell here, and welcome to another one of my Dota 2 hero guides. Today we're going to be taking a look at the build for Dragon Knight for patch 7.31b, and as always, before we jump into it, I just want to let you know that you should probably go to the Immortal Faith or Tortellini guides for any hero in any position. They're usually pretty up-to-date in-game, and you can follow them, and you generally have the right skill build and item build for that position. If you think that they're wrong or out of date for any reason, you can always go to Dota2ProTracker.com. You can see the Pro and High MMR 7K plus builds for every hero in every position and see all the games played there. So now that we have that out of the way, let's jump into the Dragon Knight build for patch 7.31b, and as always, we'll start off with the skills here. Level 1, pretty much regardless, you're going to go Breathe Fire. Now, sometimes you can go Dragon Tail occasionally. I know for this, let's say this Tortellini offlane build, it has Dragon Tail actually level 1. It just kind of depends. I think this is more the offlane build because level 1, if you are partnered with somebody who can also, have a stun, you can get a bunch of damage in. You can really annoy the enemy. You can also stun them to secure CS and these kinds of things. Otherwise, you're going to go for the Breathe Fire. That just allows you to harass, secure CS as well, do the damage reduction on the enemy. And then you're going to get probably 2 points in Dragon's Blood. You can see even for this, you're going to get 2 points in Dragon Blood there for the next 2 levels. This just allows you to lane better. Allows you to sustain in lane. Allows you to have better regen, more armor. You can out-trade people. There's pretty much nothing they can do to harass you down. You don't get threatened. Once you hit level 3, this hero is super, super strong. There's almost nothing anybody can do to you in lane. Then level 4, it kind of mixes up. Basically, you almost always want 1 point in each of these and 2 points in Dragon Blood level 4. So it just depends which one you got first. Here, if you got Breathe Fire first, then you're going to go for the Dragon Tail, or vice versa, if you got Dragon Tail first. Then from there, you kind of have a little bit of a choice. Do you want to max out Breathe Fire, or do you need another point or so in Dragon Blood? Sometimes you can max Dragon Blood out, or at least get 3 points in it for that extra armor, that extra HP regen. It just depends on matchups if you feel like you really need it. 2 points is usually enough, but sometimes you need these extra points just depending on matchups. Otherwise, you want to get Breathe Fire maxed out first because this allows you to push out creep waves, farm a little bit quicker, and push the wave in general so that you can push the tower, because level 6, you're going to be getting your Elder Dragon form pretty much every time, and you're going to try to push the tower as quickly as possible. In the off lane, you're pushing the safe lane tower of the enemy, obviously. In the mid lane, you're going to try to push the mid lane tower around 5 minutes or so when you get that level 6, with the catapult especially. So that's the main way you're going to be playing the hero. And then once you have enough Dragon Blood that you feel like you're able to sustain, you're not really threatened, you're going to max out Breathe Fire, then max out Dragon Blood, then max out Dragon Tail. The other option actually is later on in the game, you can actually max out Dragon Tail instead of Dragon Blood, into these later levels, into the, 11, 12, 13, 14, these kinds of things. If you feel like you really just aren't threatened at all, they don't have enough damage for you, you don't need more regen. If you just feel like in general you can max out these and you need that stun duration to get pickoffs, you can definitely level this Dragon Tail over the Dragon Blood, but I would suggest probably getting more points in this just because it allows you to not die, to sustain, to, have a better presence on the map, all these kinds of things. So that's the main build and the main consideration. You're going to be leveling Elder Dragon form pretty much every single level that you're able to. No exceptions with that because it's just so good. It's the main part of the hero. Otherwise, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. There are some considerations. Like I said, level 1, when you get your Dragon's Blood, whether to max out Dragon's Tail before Dragon Blood, all those kinds of things as well. Now we can move on to the talent tree. So with the talent tree here, you see level 10, there's the damage reduction for Breathe Fire or the 15 damage. I would say you generally want to take the damage. It's just a little bit better. The damage reduction is good, but it just kind of depends on the game or the heroes that you're up against. But 15 damage, I see a lot of people going that because it's not always reliable that you're going to hit like a bunch of heroes with that Breathe Fire damage reduction. Then level 15, the Dragon Tail stun is usually the one you're going to get just because that stun is so good. That single target stun, that extra bit of stun, it's always so good. 400 health is not bad, but this hero already has so much health. I just don't think that 400 health is, all that needed. Now, maybe in some games you feel like you need that extra health. Sure, you can go for it and you think the stun isn't that big of a deal, but I think the stun's almost always going to be better. And then level 20, you have the choice of 20 strength or Elder Dragon form attack range. Now, this is kind of a little bit debatable, but I think it's mainly you're always going to be going to strength because the strength gives you all that health, all that damage. It just is good overall. The range is just not that needed. You're already a ranged tanky hero. I don't think you really need that range. You're not a hero that really ever buys Dragonlance for the range. It's just not something that you generally need for the hero. There are very few matchups where, people outrange you and you feel like, you just can't get into the proper range to attack people and stuff. Plus, that doesn't increase your Dragon Tail range, and you're going to want to blink in and Dragon Tail anyway, so you're going to be in range to hit them anyway. So you don't really need that Elder Dragon form attack range. Then level 25, the AoE Dragon Tail during your Dragon form is super good. Obviously, because you already have a very long range, or not super long range, but a good, decent single target stun with long duration. And now you can hit people in an AoE. That can be super effective. That can literally win you the game. It's absolutely ridiculous what that can do later in the game when you get this like 3.5 second stun on so many people. Now, you can get this regen and armor, but it's just, I don't know, it's not that great. You don't really need the regen at that point. And yes, the armor can be good, but you're probably going to buy other armor items like an AC or something like that if you really desperately need the armor. So it's just not something that I would really go that level 25 talent on that side very often, because this Dragon Tail stun to multiple heroes is just so good. So those are the talents. That's the talent tree for Dragon Knight there. And again, there's not anything that's going to make or break this hero, I think, really. There's no talents that are just like, if you don't take this one, you're screwed. Then we can go into the build here. This is probably going to be the build for most mid laners. Off laners, very similar to. There's not too much of a difference here. You're pretty much going to want to go this and then get into 2 bracers probably, and then Soul Ring, maybe mixing in the boots and a magic wand there when you need to. And this is probably going to be your starting item game build pretty much every time, finishing power treads, probably maybe with another bracer in there, and that's what you're going to start off with. And then you're going to go right into the Blink Dagger pretty much every game, because the Blink Stun on this hero is just so powerful. It's just one of the best things about the hero. Then from there, it's kind of just, what do you value more? Do you need the BKB? Are you getting it soon enough? Or do you want to get the Ag Shard? Because the Ag Shard is really what makes this hero good. It's what allows this hero to do more damage when you blink stun. It's what allows you to push waves, farm a little bit faster. So if it's around 15 minutes that you got your blink, or a little bit before that, and you don't really want to delay the shard too much, because it just lets you ramp up and farm more. And you probably actually could get the shard and the BKB at the same time as getting BKB if you skip the shard. So it's just probably better to get this in general, I would think, once it hits that 15-minute mark. Maybe you could buy like the axe or the club or whatever, the ogre club or whatever it is for the BKB, and then go to the Aghanim shard. But you probably want to be getting this at around 15 minutes every time. Then you're always going to be getting BKB. So these are the 2 items plus shard that you're always going to be getting in the beginning of the game. Then from there, we kind of just have to decide, what do we need? Do I need extra armor and attack speed, or can I go straight for my Ag Scepter? Ag Scepter obviously gives you the magic resistance, it gives you the free pathing, it gives you the extra slow, all those kinds of things. It can be really good. But it's obviously not the best with armor. Like, if you need a lot of armor, it doesn't give you any of that. So if you really need armor and these kinds of things, armor for your team, they have a lot of right click, and you're still dying to right clicks even despite your Dragon Blood, going AC is pretty much the next option. And then lastly, you can round that out with right click and Daedalus and these kinds of things after going back for an Ag Scepter, all that kind of stuff. And you can also choose to get some different items too if you need them. You could get Silver Edge if you need a break. You can even get like Satanic if you need to tank up. You can even potentially get a heart if you really need the more HP. That's not something that is usually bought. You can also buy Nullifier. You can buy Bloodthorn or Silence with the Orchid, those kinds of things. But generally, these are the items that you're probably going to build almost every single game, just depending what order. And you don't farm super quickly, so it's very rare you're going to get to the Daedalus timing. But if you ever do, this hero is just absolutely ridiculous with the amount of damage you can output. And so that is pretty much the DK build. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You're going to be going, like I said, this kind of stuff every game. Blink, BKB every game. It's just a matter of, what items you need after that. If you can get a good Ag Scepter timing, this hero is absolutely ridiculous. This hero just does so much damage, blink stunning people. Kind of an insanely powerful hero right now, and you take towers so quickly as well. So that's the Dragon Knight build for patch 7.31b. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all of those kinds of things if you haven't already. Join the Discord, and we do replay reviews every Friday and community days every Saturday on my Twitch. And join the Patreon if you haven't already, if you want to see more of this kind of content in the future and just support me in general. Or if you want coaching, I also offer coaching there as well. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.